Welcome back to build season. This time we're working on this 1966 Mercury Montclair. It's sat for 20 years and we believe it to have 23,000 original miles. We're gonna see if we can't revive it. I found this 66 Mercury locally, about an hour away. It was sitting behind somebody's barn for the last 20 plus years. It's the 66 model and it's a Montclair 4-door hardtop. It's a 390 FE with the select drive, and please correct me in the comments if that's not right. The 3-speed automatic that's not a C6. The reason it's on a trailer is because we skipped all the fun of loading this thing up because all this snow fell and it would have been impossible to dig this thing out. All 4 wheels are locked, all 4 tires are flat, so we got to start there and we got to get this off the trailer. Just in case you're curious, it's a balmy 19 degrees right now. And I'm standing out here in the driveway with a bunch of lights that I bought because it's pitch dark otherwise. I gotta get these wheels off if we're gonna have any hope of getting this thing off the trailer. All the brakes are stuck. I'm hoping I can just jack this thing up and smack the drum a few times and it'll come loose. I doubt it, considering there's still mud caked in around the hubcap, but we can try. Something else I might have to mention. Filming outside in the wintertime adds a whole myriad of challenges. Number 1 is lighting, you can tell that. Number 2 is battery life, not only on the mics, but on the camera itself. We're gonna try to do as much as we can to get this thing in there as fast as possible. Oh boy, 1 lug nut missing. That's fine, I think. Big thing of mud there. There. Seems very, very sketchy. That's not good. My impact battery is dying already. All right. 1. All right, real quick, over under. Place your guesses in the comments. Is this even, do we even have a chance at this? That's a huge, look at that. A dirt sickle. That whole thing is frozen dirt. Pretty cool, listen to that. Oh, it's literally a rock right now. Okay, here we go. Absolutely nothing. Clearly, we're gonna need a bigger hammer. Looks like we're upgrading. I got a wooden handle here. That's effectively doing nothing. Oh, maybe some movement. Whew. Well, as much fun as that is, I don't think we're getting anywhere, even with the sledgehammer. So probably just pop the cap here and undo the wheel bearing and maybe try to cut the hold down pins on the back. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks pretty nice in here. Okay, hand tight. A little overhand tight. All right, I got a chisel here. Let's see if I can't just hammer and chisel those pins off. 1. I think that was easier than it should have been. I've resorted to using my pry bar as a chisel. I think it's working. Remind me if this ever comes off that I need to straighten that backing plate out. I think I almost had it. Just kind of walking the drum a little bit at the top. Seems like it's coming slowly. Slowly but surely. Holy shit, I think we got it. Oh, almost free. Okay. That's 1. 3 more to go. Or just a bare backing plate with a wheel cylinder. So we can go back on with the inner bearing. The frozen mud out of here for the outer. Frozen grease. Oh, there we go. Oh, it rolls. One wheel rolls. All right, that's one down. Oh yeah, I forgot. Check this out. Check these out. I got these rollers today on Marketplace for 300 bucks, wheels and tires all together. This is some sort of Unilug mag. I don't know who makes it. However, on the back, it has a US patent number and a made in USA. If you know what style of wheel this is, put that in the comments below. I thought these were pretty cool looking. For 300 bucks, Unilug pattern. Should put tires on this car at least to roll it off the trailer. Yeah, it might not look right, but it's kind of cool. All right, enough for today. There you go. We have one tire. So I'm gonna come back at this tomorrow. It's like 8 o'clock at night and it's getting very cold. Good evening. I'm sure you've noticed the scenery's changed a little bit. That's because it's like -1 outside in Wisconsin right now. So instead of busting all these brake drums off this car outside freezing to death, I figured I would squiggle this trailer in here, let this thing melt off, and do all this work inside where I can feel my hands. I think I'm gonna keep working on the wheels. I need to get these brakes unstuck because the car has to come off the trailer one way or another. It's not gonna go on the lift otherwise, and I have a whole bunch of work to do, I'm sure, with it up in the air. So we'll get right back on this front left. Seems like this is the only tire out of the original 4 that's still holding air, but that's good. So we'll get that wheel off. I'm not sure how well this comes across on camera, but this car is massive. 123-inch wheelbase on this pig. And I said I didn't like big old sedans. Well, you don't find them in Wisconsin this rust-free ever, so I took a chance. Doesn't that look fun? At least that tire's round. Let's start with a tool that's as patient as I am, because I'm already done messing around with this. Yep, just like the other side. I have another idea. Now, I've heard one trick for getting stuck brake drums off is you can heat the drum until it expands and maybe it'll come unstuck from the hub or the shoes. You can use an oxyacetylene torch for that. I don't have one of those, but I do have a rosebud. So while this seems like radical overkill, it took me 2 hours to get that other drum off. Even if that didn't work, it was fun. Woo! Slippery now. Oh wow. Yeah. We put a good bit of heat into it there. That's for sure. Too bad it didn't do anything. If that's any indication of how hot that is. Yeah. Trying not to ding the fender with this precision instrument. Darn it. I was really hoping that would work. Fine, we'll do it the other way. I've tried to loosen the star wheel, the adjuster on the bottom. I think it's also frozen. I can't seem to get it to turn either way. So unfortunately, we're probably back to where we were yesterday, which is with a sort of destructive means of getting this off of here. But I have an idea. So as painful as this process is, I just kind of work around the outside of the drum, prying, trying to get the drum slide off of those shoes. They're stuck in there. And I'd say this drum is probably halfway off right now. A good place to pry against the backing plate is right up here at the top of the spindle. So you won't deform the backing plate too much by prying on it. Obviously, the best way to do this is to never have to. I think we got it. Mostly. She's like most of the way off of there now. Just got to get the other side to pop free. Oh, There it is. So this actually went faster than the other side. Now I know, I still got to get the hubs out of these drums. But I'll be honest, these drums actually don't look that bad at all, other than having a little bit of rust. So this might actually be a 23,000 mile car. Who knows? But what ended up really helping with this was as soon as I got the drums started, I sprayed a bunch of WD-40 on the shoes. And that seemed to work really good to get this thing out of there. Not to mention I had to pop the hold down pin so the shoes could move. I don't know, maybe that was the right move, maybe not. Doesn't matter, it's off now. So I just snapped a photo of the brake components the way they were before I ripped everything off. Now we can go right back on with the drum. Don't worry, all of this stuff is gonna get cleaned up and repacked and everything once the car is off the damn trailer. There we go. Another wheel that turns. Oh my God, I'm looking at these brake lines. Oh my God, look at this. Take a look at these brake lines. Yeah, we're gonna be putting brake lines on this car. This one right here. Oh wow, that thing is like paper thin. Oh yeah, is it leaking already? I just touched it. Holy cow. That'll be on the list. All right, I think you get it. Gonna have to do this 2 more times. Don't worry, I'll include you if something crazy happens. I don't feel like we have a chance in hell these are gonna come off. Look at this though. That to me looks like a factory drum retainer clip. So there is a chance this thing could be 23,000 original miles. Ooh, I am seeing some evidence of the incredibly wonderful Ford frames of the time. There's some more of it over there. Yikes. Of course, it's right where the rear axle ties into the frame. So I kind of want to show this. I feel like I may have been taken a little bit on this car. If you look right there, that is the backside of the bolt that holds the trailing arm to the frame. This entire section of the frame right here is gone. Now I'd like to think that I can patch that and make that safe again, but I'm honestly surprised that this jack is able to hold the car up. I think it's collapsing the frame right there. So learn from my mistake. If you're gonna buy something like this, it's been sitting outside, try to make sure you can get it all the way up off the ground and look at everything before you decide to pay them any money. All right, just popped it off camera. Sorry. There. What do you think of that look? These are kind of cool. These are some ET mags that I got on Marketplace. They're pretty neat. Look at that. I have clearance even to maybe get this jack stand out of here. Look at that. I actually kind of like the way these ETs look. I know they're old school and probably cheesy looking, but there it is. The Mercury Montclair sits on its wheels. Finally. I'm gonna get this thing outside and unloaded and then back in here on the lift. Off camera, I had the distinct pleasure of unloading this thing, putting it on wheel dollies, and then spinning it around. This car weighs enough. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's on the lift now. Let's get a look under the hood. This car is so big. It's gotta be at least the size of my 98. We meet again. 390 FE. 2-barrel this time. I suppose we'll start where we should have probably started before I took this off the trailer. Grab the 15/16, wiggle that onto the crank bolt. We'll see if this thing even turns. All right, it's a little bit of a fight to get that on there, but oh, all right. Turns, but not well. All right, so it's not stuck. And it does have oil in it. It doesn't necessarily smell bad or anything, so good sign. We'll check trans fluid too. Trans fluid. I mean, it's radically over full, but this is supposed to be checked hot idling in park, but fluid looks nice and clean. It was a little crunchy as I was rolling it over, and that could be from the old belts and pulleys and stuff, but I think I'll pull the plugs and just, at the very least, get some oil down on top of the cylinders. Oh, man. Oh. Uh-huh. Shit. Oh, wow. Check that out. Yikes. I sprayed these with a little PB the other day, hoping that I'd be able to get them out. I haven't touched them yet, and it looks like those are stuck. So I'm gonna get in here with the vacuum and suck up all this crap, and then, I don't know, try it again. I know it's early, but look at this. That plug is like perfect. Looks like this thing was running really good before it was parked, but yeah, that one's broken. I'll have to dig into the stash and see if I have another one. First plug on the passenger side, and this one has got a little rust. So likely that was one of the cylinders with an exhaust valve open. But still, the electrode doesn't really look that bad. I'm still convinced that this thing was running pretty clean before it was parked. Well, the plugs are finally out. I broke a couple. They still came out, and I lost one plug wire. Ripped the wire right out of the boot. Not the end of the world. So I'm gonna go in here and just spray a bunch of WD-40 on top of every piston. If it comes out of the can, looks like a trip to O'Reilly is necessary right now. Think this thing has any antifreeze? No. There is some goop in the bottom. I'm wondering if it's evaporated or if it all leaked out. It's okay, we're not anywhere close to that yet. Let's get a look at this carburetor. Oh, Autolite 2100, 2150. Somebody in the comments, tune me up, that's fine. No shit. Linkage is all good. There's a whole bunch of acorns and walnuts and stuff on top of this manifold. Come back with the vacuum before I touch any of this. There's so much mouse poop on here. I'm just gonna hose this whole thing down with D-germ. It'll probably rebuild the carburetor while it's at it. You guys know how much I love these Autolite 2100s or whatever these are. I had one on the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. It actually ran pretty good. It was rebuilt. I tried to rebuild one in a previous episode and it didn't work out, but I don't know. This one's free. Throttle linkage moves, accelerator pump moves, choke door. Maybe it's got a chance. So it rotates over. We got all the plugs out, got fresh penetrating oil in every cylinder, sucked all the crap off the top of the intake, or at least some of it. I'm to the point where I kind of want to throw a battery in it, see if it cranks. Now this thing has these tiny, tiny, tiny little cables, and they're super short, so we're gonna have to lean the battery over and do some dumb stuff. Let's go into the interior, which, by the way, this car has a really, really sweet interior. Yes, it's dirty and needs to be cleaned. Pretty nice. Let's see if anything happens. Nothing. Okay. Maybe we have a fuse, or a fusible link that's burnt up. Well, I committed the cardinal sin. I stole the battery out of my perfectly running International. Let's see if this one actually has voltage. Check that out. Yep, 12.5 volts. Perfect. Oh, the radio's doing something. All right, no dice. So we got nothing on the key. So Fords have a starter solenoid right here. You take the power probe and jump right to the start terminal on this guy. Hey, all right. Good. This thing cranks good. I didn't hear anything weird. No noises, nothing. So I think maybe we just shook the rust off these belts or something. They'll probably break at the most inopportune time, but one more time. Now granted, this is with all the plugs out, so of course it's gonna spin really fast, but it doesn't sound bad, so we'll take it. So it's been a few minutes. We're doing a couple things at once here. I have plugs back in. There's a couple that are broken, I know, and I have a spark checker over here just to see if we have any action out of the distributor. I think our ignition switch is junk, so I'm just using the power probe to jump this. All right, no spark. Probably have to clean those points. Wow. Oh my God. This distributor looks brand new. The cap looks brand new. Holy shit. So I was just about to grab my sandpaper to go sand those points when I remembered my father-in-law gave me this. Look at this. It is an ignition service toolkit. This is a snap-on version. My father-in-law used to work on cars a long time ago. You guys have maybe seen him in the background of a couple of videos. But look at this. In here, there's a bunch of tiny little wrenches for removing points. There's a feeler gauge set, a couple of those. There's a screwdriver, and then a points file, which is incredible. So you can just use this little bitty file to clean your points instead of trying to get a piece of sandpaper in there. Oh, I'm so excited I get to use this. Thank you, Rick. This is kick-ass. Going in with the points file. Woo, man, that's way easier. I love it. Still got to get a piece of cloth in there or something to get all that debris out of there. Let's try this again. See if we have spark. Yep. Okay, I saw it one time. All right. I think we need to just clean those points one more time. You probably hear that. We're getting spark off the points. Yep, we have got spark. All right, without looking at that carburetor at all, we're just gonna go for it. A little bit of carb cleaner in there, a little bit of brake clean, I mean. Coil's a little bit warm. All right, might need a little bit more than that. So I got this little squirt bottle of just straight up premium. I think this is 91, so it's not good premium, but it is premium. Try it this way. Okay, get the battery charger on here. Got a little bit more fuel down the throat. Just monitoring that coil. I don't want that to get too hot. Okay, maybe it does need brake clean. Interesting. Might have to give this battery a chance to charge up. So you can tell that I work a full-time job and I do this after work because it's not going to do anything if none of the plug wires are connected. This time with as many of the spark plug wires as I have connected. Oh yeah! Yeah! Yes! Oh, yes! All right. Man, this 390, I've gone on record and say I don't really care for FEs that much, but this is the third one now. This is pretty good. Holy crap, I can't believe it just took off and ran on 6 nonetheless. One more time. Oh my God, it's running on 6 cylinders. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, sweet. Okay. I need to go to the parts store and get some brake clean and some spark plugs for this thing so we can see if it'll hit on 8. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but this spark plug wire was arcing to the fender. So we've got spark. This thing runs. I'm excited now. Before we crank on this thing too much more, I'm gonna pull the fuel line off the carb. I don't want anything that's, potentially in the tank getting up here and making this carburetor even worse. I'll just run it into a bottle or something. Let's try this again. Yes! Holy shit, man. This thing runs good. Got a little heat in the exhaust manifold over here. I can't believe it runs this good on 6 cylinders. Remember, 2 of those plugs are broken. This thing runs that good on 6 cylinders. I can't believe it. Make a run to O'Reilly's right now and we'll come back. Good morning. Jeff's here. If you guys haven't seen Jeff, he's been on a couple of the videos with Wrench and Redneck, Phoenix, down in Iowa there by Kevin. Jeff's here. He's checking out the Mercury, because this may or may not be his future poverty tour rig. We'll see on that. Since last night, I got some new plugs in this thing to replace the broken ones. We ran it for just a second and it runs a lot better. What we're gonna do now is grab the boat tank, plumb it directly into the carburetor, because we wanna run the engine for like 30 or 45 seconds to see if we can maybe test the trans. So I had to change my fuel pump out on the boat tank to power the Jag with the EFI pump, and I was trying to figure out how this Chinese one was supposed to go in. If you look right here, it says, I believe that says out, and it's stamped backwards, so.
Assembly in America.
Yeah, Chinese quality. Got the boat tank hooked up. We're gonna run it off a battery just to fill the carburetor up, light this thing off, and hopefully check transmission. We're still using the power probe key. I am seeing a leak at the accelerator pump, but I don't think this thing is blowing right past the needle and seat, which is sort of crazy. I guess once in a while you get a carburetor that works after 40 years. Not gonna hold my breath. Okay. Come on. Is it? That might be stuck needle and seat. Got some brake clean down the throat of the carb. We'll run the fuel pump here. And we'll try starting it one more time, see if we can get it to pull fuel. I was getting sprayed in the face with all kinds of debris. That's crazy. I know you're cold, whatever.
Yeah, I bet you that needle and seat is stuck.
Yeah.
And it's not letting it.
Darn it.
She said no.
Shocking that that carburetor might be the problem.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on now.
This thing sat for 40 years. The suspicion, unbelievably so, is that this carburetor that's sat for longer than I've been alive is junk. I'm sorry, didn't mean
No way.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that surprising? Yeah. So I have this. This is a brand new Amazon Motorcraft or Autolite 2100, 2150, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It looks roughly the same. We're going to try this one because it was 75 bucks.
75 bucks.
$75 brand new. Yeah.
Damn.
So we're going on with our Amazon Motorcraft, or sorry, Autolite. I always say Motorcraft. We're going on with this, whatever carburetor this is, we're going to put it on now. So watch in awe and amazement as this engine goes from barely running to perfect in minutes. Right? Ta-da! It's restored. I think we're done.
Restored.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, here, write you a check.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna go.
Amazon carburetor installed, fuel system engaged. There's
something flying off.
so much shit flying out of that fan radiator. Oh my god. Whew. I think we need to mess with the mixture screw idle, but it's also still really cold.
Fire!
You think it is rat turds?
Yeah.
And penetrating oil probably? We're gonna try to get this thing to idle so we can test the transmission. I don't want to run it too much longer with no water in it. So we'll add some water now, let it run for, turn it over a few times and see how bad the leaks are. All right, we'll give this another try now that we got some water in it. Looks like it doesn't want to run on choke or without choke. Hell yeah! Jeff found the vacuum leak. Steve actually saw it when this thing backfired just a little bit. It like blew a bunch of stuff on the back of the manifold. Jeff was peeking his head around here, looking through, trying to spray carb cleaner on the back of the gasket. And then he saw these little guys right here. Yeah, they were wide open. Hoses rotted off. That'll do it every time.
Yep.
I guess we'll cap those and try it again.
I still swear I hear another vacuum leak somewhere.
Oh yeah?
Man, maybe not, but maybe.
Alright, so we've got it to kind of idle. It has a base gasket leak. I have to get new ones. But if it's finally running, I'm going to try the transmission. Reverse! Drive! Yeah! We have oil pressure. We're not charging, that's fine, but yeah! Hey, our temperature gauge works. Yes, we're up to temperature. Oh, sweet. Dude, the transmission works. Holy crap. Well, at least it does on the hoist anyway. And we all know, if you watch the Jaguar video, that doesn't mean anything. And this is like a 5,000 pound beast. So we won't celebrate until this thing moves under its own power, which could be now. So it's been a minute and we're getting a little squirrely. I think everybody wants to ride in this car. So we plumbed in the fuel system to the tank and unfortunately it's definitely leaking everywhere. It needs to be patched. Fine, it is what it is. So instead of letting all that gas leak out on the floor, I'm gonna run some of it through the engine. So we have our starter hooked up right here, and then this beautiful wiring installation runs all the way over to the driver's seat. Is the kill switch for the ignition coil. I think that's good enough for me. We're gonna get it running in here and we're gonna put this thing down the street and back with no brakes. All right, it's running now, and we're barely pulling fuel. I wonder if this fuel pump is on its way out or if we just have very little fuel in the tank. Or both. Yeah. Let's see if this thing will move. Good morning. You'll notice that we didn't drive the Mercury last night. Couldn't get the thing to run long enough. I think the fuel pump's bad and we have a leak in the gas tank. I do have all the parts to do the brakes on this thing and I'm gonna start that now. Oh, that's right. I still need to get these off of the hub. cool. Here's the magic combination. Piece of scrap steel, blocks of wood to hold the rotor or the drum up, and the sledgehammer. Yeah. Alrighty. Don't worry, I do have new drums. Holy crap. Well, there's your answer. That line broke off. Kind of knew I would need to make these lines. We'll just start building the brake system from here all the way back up to the master. So I'm just gonna feed the whole mess through. Pro tip, it makes it 1,000 times easier if you pull the bleeder screw out before you go in. So there is a retaining washer right here. So this washer has 2 tangs on it that go on either side of the body of the wheel cylinder, and then one more tang to hold the retaining nut here in place. So that goes on first. Then you torque this retaining nut to about 350 foot-pounds. Then you fold this tab down to make sure that this retaining nut doesn't move. And there you go. Wheel cylinder nut staked. So it's not gonna come out. So the shoes are on here, and I got 2 new self-adjuster kits for this thing. There. New self-adjuster star wheel is in there. We just need to run the cable up to the top and then put the retention springs on for the shoes. Now I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I like to get the cable in place and then take the guide. So cable's looped over the top pin and hooked into the bracket down here. I take the guide, get the cable started or around the guide, and then with tension on the cable, I just shove the cable or the guide right up into the hole, like that. I don't know, if you got a better way of doing it, feel free to comment. Now, if you are out here messing with drum brakes and you don't have a drum brake pliers, I highly recommend it. They have the little end here with the little cup or whatever. That is designed to hook onto the center pin, and it makes installing the retention springs so much easier. And so much less death is involved. I'm holding this shoe because I'm paranoid that that auto adjuster spring is gonna come flying out of there again. Not that that didn't happen off camera one time. There you go. Front right drum brakes, ready to go. Ooh, shiny, huh? Oh yeah, what are we forgetting? The hub. Did you see what I forgot? Right here. Yep, that's the little retaining washer. Supposed to go behind all of that. Dang it, that's better. Look at this. Bearings made in USA. Yeah, pretty cool. They actually look really, really, really good too. Soaked them in a little bit of gas, cleaned them up good, and repack them, put them right back in. We'll go in with the newly repacked inner bearing and the wheel seal and the freshly repacked outer bearing. Washer. You guys have seen this 100 times. Tighten this down, then we'll go on with the drum and adjust it. Kevin showed me how to do cotter pins when I was hanging out with them in Iowa, and I really like the way that looks. It's nice and clean. Yeah, I know that's not exactly in the center, whatever, but I like it. They look clean, they definitely work. It doesn't interfere with the dust cap when you put it on. Ready for the new drum. There we go. Just prep these for paint. Got the shoes adjusted. There's just a little bit of drag on that drum. Of course, this is a performance brake drum. I don't think I've ever sprayed rebuild spray on actual rebuilt stuff. It's new for me. I know we still have to do the hard lines over here, and we got to get the soft line mounted. I'm gonna jump over to the driver's side, rinse and repeat this process, and we'll catch up in a minute. It's been just a few minutes. Got the soft line mounted on the passenger side, same on the driver's side. Got the rear brakes all changed over, just new wheel cylinders, shoes and hardware, and then the new drum. Complete with a coat of performance black paint. Now's about the time that I have to start making brake lines. This one over here twisted off with the tube nut. So I'm gonna start with this one, running all the way over to the driver's side. And the driver's side line actually came out and went back in and looks halfway decent, like it was replaced at some point. So that's the first line we're gonna make. Then we're gonna head up front. I got a few other things we're gonna tackle at the same time. So here's our first line off the rear axle. Just got a coil, a nycop here. Straighten it out, cut it to rough length, put some tube nuts on it, flare it, and we should be in business on the rear end. I gotta get this done quick so I can get up to the front. Here's something neat. I always try to salvage the tube nuts off of old brake lines because I went to O'Reilly today and bought tube nuts, 3/16 tube nuts. They were $5 a piece. Unbelievable, even with a pro account. It's outrageous, the price for parts nowadays. I know you can get them cheaper on Amazon, but to be able to walk into a store and at $5 a crack for a tube nut, doing a brake system on an old car is like quadrupled in price just because of the hardware. One other thing I do when I'm bending a brake line like this, if it has a bend right near the end where the tube nut goes, when I'm making the new line, I will leave that last bend until after I've flared the line and put the tube nut on. Otherwise, there's not a long enough straight section to go through my flaring tool. There we go. There's our newly bent line for the rear end. I knew I had a lot of brake work to do on this thing, so I took a chance and ordered some of these bad boys on Amazon. Ratcheting line wrenches. I don't know, they seem kind of cheap, but worth a shot. Hold on a minute, this is pretty cool. Oh yeah. Oh man, those are cool. I understand these are cheap and kind of gimmicky, but if you're interested in getting some of these ratcheting line wrenches, these things are awesome. That was like so fun. Oh my gosh, it might make brake work fun. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below. So we're up top side here, and this is what's going on. That right there is the original single pot Death master cylinder. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna switch to this. This is a master cylinder from a 68 Galaxy. This is, believe it or not, I know it's got one reservoir bigger than the other, but this is listed as a drum power brake master. So this is a dual pot, dual circuit. I want to replace that single pot at the same time. In a surprising stroke of luck, those came out, and so did this master cylinder. Let's see right away if the new one will even bolt up. Good. New one goes on. I'm going to check the depth of the master cylinder. To check the master cylinder depth, I'll take any bolt or whatever, drop it down in there, and then, you know, essentially pinch the bolt right at where it's flush with the mounting face of the master cylinder. Go into the new one. Those look exactly the same. We're good. And this is an adjustable push rod if we need it. So there you go. 68 Galaxy dual pot master upgrade for a Mercury that already has power drum brakes. Over here on the driver's side, I've got a new line that drops right down from the master cylinder to a T-fitting, and here's the short little section of hard line that goes to the new soft line right here. This line right here is the old rear line. I am going to remake this section and go back to the first union because this line has been repaired a few times. The sections after the union are newer, so I will just remake the front section of this line. So now I just have to go underneath and remake the brake line that runs along the cross member there over to the passenger side. This is interesting. So this is the two pieces that made up the line that went from the driver's fender well back to the first union in the brake line. Look at this. You'll probably notice that that is a compression fitting, not to mention where it was connected is completely rusted out. Compression fittings and brake lines do not mix. Compression fittings will not hold the pressure that a brake system needs. This is extremely dangerous. Man, am I glad I'm fixing this. So here's the new hard line to the passenger side. I know it's a little wiggly, who cares? And there is the new hard line that runs all the way back to the junction over there. And then here's the new hard line that runs all the way back to a union to a newer piece of brake line on the side of the frame there. I did all those brake lines in, I don't know, like an hour and a half, including removing the old ones. The tool I use, and you've heard me talk about this before, is the Capri Tools 3/16 on car flaring tool. I love this thing. Kevin recommended it, and It's like one thing I won't leave the shop without if I'm going on a trip. You can do brake lines on the car, off the car, and it's really fast. You need a 10 millimeter and a 17 millimeter, and that's it. I've linked this before in the description below. If you guys are interested, I'll put it down in there. It's an Amazon link, so if you click it, I'll get a kickback, not a big deal. I'd like to interrupt your programming for a little bit of gratitude. We had more Parts Fund donators. Always love when I see that. Can't believe it, you guys, every single time. 411 Now Media, Kevin Birchfield, and Stephen Moulton. Thank you guys so very much. Every single Parts Fund donation goes right back into the car that I'm building right now, so you guys are now a part of it. If you guys out there watching want to be a part of that, there's a link to the Parts Fund in the description below. There's no pressure with that, no strings attached. Don't have to do anything with it. It's just there if you feel like it. Thanks a lot. Back to the video. So the brake lines are done. Everything is tight except for the master cylinder. I got to pull it off and bleed it. Got to get new tires on tomorrow. And after that, I think I'll go after the ignition switch. I'd really like to be able to start this thing from inside the car. Back out here again. We're going to get ready to bleed the whole system. But unfortunately, I can't seem to locate the gallon of brake fluid that I bought like 2 weeks ago. So I got to head back into town. Speaking of that, I've been driving around a lot, looking at cars, getting parts, stuff like that, using a lot of gas. That brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Upside. The holidays are meant for giving. That doesn't mean you can't get a little something back too. Between road trips to see family members, the endless trips to the grocery store and the gas station, it can really put a hurt on your wallet. Free Upside app helps you earn cash back on things you're already doing, like filling up the pump, going out to eat, or making one last trip to the grocery store. With Upside, you're keeping more in your pocket during the season you spend the most. In fact, Upside has given back over $1 billion in cash back so far. There's over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants participating in the Upside app, ensuring that your cash back is just around the corner. And yes, it's cash back. No confusing rewards or points or all these weird programs. It's just real money that you can transfer to your bank account. It's simple. Find an offer in the Upside app, claim it, pay for it just like you normally would with your credit or debit card, and then follow the steps in the app to get paid. Doing this YouTube thing's got me on the road quite a bit. I'm hunting for parts, I'm looking for project cars, and I'm always buying gas and food. If I'm already gonna buy that stuff, I might as well get cash back so I can buy more gas and more food. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code BUILDSEASON to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents on every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code BUILDSEASON. Welcome back, it's the next day. I apologize right now for the audio quality, the video quality. We're on my phone. It's been 2 years with my old camera, and this morning I was moving stuff around to get some snow blowing done before I went to work, and my camera fell over, and of course it broke the damn lens. So we're on the phone for today. I ordered a new lens. It should be here tomorrow, I hope. Anyway, let's get back to this thing. Need to bleed brakes, got to put an ignition switch in it. Let's keep moving. Well, that went easier than expected, which means that the master's probably still not bled right. Anyway, I don't have a helper right now, so I'm gonna gravity bleed the system one wheel at a time. I also need to replace that ignition switch, but I do not want to spend any time under the dash of this car without cleaning it. So I'm gonna crack a wheel and then get to the inside. Get a load of this. There's like moldy wasp nests in the door jamb there. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna go to town. Now I'm gonna go in here with some photo band just because it'll make me feel better. This stuff, it worked pretty good on my Oldsmobile when there was that dead mouse. So I don't know, we'll try just misting some of this in here. Let it do its thing for a little bit, then I can dive under the dash. Okay, it has been a little bit and I haven't recorded a ton because it's all shaky and it's on the phone and everything. Anyway, I got tires on the wheels. The thing is sitting on the ground. I had to fix one more brake line in the back because it was popped right after we started bleeding, of course. We're gonna try to fire it up. We got the brakes to the point where they're doing something. So I wanna know, will it go backwards? Will it go forwards? Will it do anything? Worked, kind of. good. Oh man. Awesome. And look, the door stays shut. Oh, I've been fighting with that fucking door for days. Holy cow. Oh, it's leaking transmission fluid a little bit. That's minor. Okay, what do you say? Let's take it for a cruise, huh? Because it's completely safe now? Yeah. This thing moved under its own power for the first time in 40 years. What is smoking? Oh, it's probably all that brake fluid we shot everywhere during the bleeding process. Oops. We're back on the big camera, got a new lens, and it seems to be working just fine. Thank goodness. I really don't like filming on my phone. It's really shaky, so I apologize for that. A few things we got to do to this thing before we can actually drive. It needs an alternator. I got to look at the frame a little bit to shore that up. And I'd really like to have a dependable way to start the car from inside. So, quick story. Went to take the alternator bolt off and it snapped right off at the head on the other side of that bracket. It's seized inside the alternator and maybe even in that sleeve. So to get it off, took my Sawzall and cut right between the spacer and the alternator itself. Now the alternator's loose and I gotta see if that in fact is stuck in the block or if I can get that out and put a new bolt in. This might have been a clue as to why this wasn't working. This thing locked up tight, just like the Jag. I got lucky with this bolt not being seized to the spacer here. Came right out. Just sucks now because I have to find a new, really long, I'm assuming that's 7/16 bolt. After a short trip to the hardware store to grab a extremely long 7/16 inch bolt, we have the new alternator in there and the new belt. Everything else is put back, retensioned. So I'm probably fired up now and see if the alternator's working. Got the boat tank hooked up right now. I have the ignition switch in run and I found the wire that I need to jump in here to get a start signal. Let's see. All right, good. That didn't sound good. Found the noise under here. Those washers are too big on that bolt that goes through the alternator. The alternator fan is hitting it, so I gotta swap those out for something lower diameter or grind those down. Okay, try again. Get our fuel system going, get this puppy lit off and see if we have charging. Still no charging from the alternator. That's not good. I think we need a voltage regulator. Brand new alternator. Still not charging. We got 12 volts to the back of it. I don't think we have any excitation on the field. Yeah, that's a good chance that that thing is roached. Here's another one of my concerns. This just popped up. Right here, there is a new leak. Transmission fluid, and I believe it's coming from the cooler lines here. There we go. There's our bleeding cut right there. I think you know me by now, and we are going to call that fixed. So here is a look at the hideously rusted frame on this car. Now if you look right here, you can probably see that this section of the frame that holds the lower control arm to the frame is literally about to fall off. My friend Jeff might be buying this car and I think he's just going to replace the frame and or just graft on a piece of frame for the rear here. So what I want to do is just shore this up a little bit. I know this is really rusty, but I found some 1/8 inch steel plates in my scrap bin. I put a bend on them, and essentially I'm gonna try my best to booger weld this onto here so that this lower control arm mount doesn't just rip from the frame. Now let me get ahead of this right now. I know that this is not safe for a road going vehicle. All I'm doing right now is trying to shore this up so that this thing doesn't fall apart going onto the trailer. I'm surprised it didn't break when it went on my trailer. Not a permanent fix. I know that this frame needs to be replaced in the back or the whole thing, but I'm gonna try to see if I can make this hold together so it can survive the trip to its new home. I also have this new welding torch from Yes Welder with a flexible head. Kind of interesting, I wanted to try it out. It was cheap. Yay, we got a tack. Okay, I'm gonna finish welding this up, be back. So I probably should have stopped after this repair. I did get 3 sides on this and 2 giant rosette welds in that, but I thought I would add one more piece to try to stabilize this over here. And the mount doesn't move around nearly like it used to. I know the angle iron is cheesy, but it was free. So I think this is a good temporary fix until this frame can be repaired properly. Well, it ain't the best, certainly not, but it's a lot stronger than it was. So I did patch the gas tank with some steel stick. So I'm just gonna pour in, like, you know, a little. I don't want it to leak everywhere like the last car and this one. All right, well, there isn't much in there, but it's not leaking yet. I got a little bottle under the hood to catch anything that could be coming from the mechanical pump. I'm gonna start this one, let it run for a while to bring fuel up here. All right, we've got fuel up here in the little bottle. So I'm gonna try switching it back to the fuel line from the car and see if it can get fuel up here. See if this thing gets fuel. Hey, there it is. Seems like I lost it there. On the bright side, our transmission line fix seems to have taken care of the leak. I know there's a bunch of other stains on the ground, don't worry about that. Okay, what do you think of this, huh? New camera mount? I don't know, give it a shot. I want to try it. I want to see if I can't drive this thing, I don't know, around the block or something. Shit! It's doing it! Oh, I can't see very much at all. These headlights are very dim. That's right, I'm on battery power only because the alternator still doesn't work. Oh man! I can't believe it! This thing hasn't driven in like 40 years. Good oil pressure. Oh, oh. Hood flew up. Dude, it does it! I know it's pitch black. You can't see me. It's okay. This thing is awesome. Uh-oh. I might be in trouble here in a second. Shoot, I gotta use this for my headlight. Oh man, dude, I can't believe this thing. This 18-foot beast frickin' just drove down the road. Transmission's working. Are you serious? Yeah! What a fight that was. I can't wait to show you guys this car in the sunshine tomorrow. Well, I'm glad it was a short drive. Yep, lost our upper hose. That's okay. I have upper and lower hoses. It looks like I'll be doing those tomorrow. And then we're gonna get you guys a better view of this beautiful beast in the daylight. I just want to test this out. Let's see how this interior will turn out with just a quick de-germ. I know this is Kevin's miracle cure for interior and, well, pretty much anything. I heard if you're sick, you can just take a shot of this every morning and knock it right out. If you survive the first day, those germs aren't gonna kill you. One door panel in 5 minutes with de-germ. Pretty impressive. All right, I had to do a little bit more. Look at this seat, super gross. I'll do one of those things where I stop halfway across. It'll drive everybody nuts. All right, so that spot right there is just worn off color. Same thing here. Now it doesn't look great, but it sure does look a lot better already. We're back at it, and I think I found the issue with the voltage regulator. There's a little bit of mouse damage. I'm still gonna replace it, but I am gonna cut, splice, and heat shrink these wires. All right, it's been a little bit, done a few things. The new upper rad hose is on. Got it filled with water. I'm gonna bubble it in a minute, but before I do any other driving, I'm gonna get it up in the air and change the oil real quick. It's a 7/8 inch drain plug. I can't remember what the drain plug size was on my FE, but I feel like it wasn't that big. All right, just seems old to me. That's good news. Come on, oil filter. I know you've been on there a while. Oh. Whew. All right. Oh, excellent. Wow. Looks like it's been in there a little while. Out of respect for the Montclair, I will pre-fill this oil filter, which I don't normally do, but this engine's running pretty good, so give it the best chance it has, or it can. Okay, I got some brand new oil on that gasket. There we go. And here we go with the new oil. I do this on camera because some of you refuse to believe that it happened unless you see it on video, and I understand that. So here you go. This is just O'Reilly 1040 with a bottle of zinc additive. Nothing fancy. Fresh oil and filter. Let's get her up to temperature and bubble the cooling system. All right. Gotta open the door in here. It's a little stinky. Here we go. I'm gonna try to see if I can make it to the local coin-op car wash so I can give this thing a much needed bath. It's a few miles away. We'll see if we can make it. Car seems to be running okay. Let's try it. All right, I know you guys can't see much, but we're cruising, man. I hear some sort of squawking, like maybe we've got bushings that are bad in the back, I'm sure, but I'll be damned if this thing isn't doing it. I think people are gonna be mad because my brights are the only things that work in the front. Oh well, we're almost to the car wash. It's probably more like 7 miles down the road. It's not exactly as close as I thought. It's one of the only spots around here that you can do a coin op, so. Here we go. Get that high pressure soap in there. Now I understand it looks like an 80s music video in here, but this thing actually looks pretty cool. I just wish it wasn't quite so steamy. Looks a lot better though. It's got great patina. Well, we made it to the car wash. The car is cleaner. I'm gonna scoot on back home, get this thing in the shop. We'll catch this thing in the daylight tomorrow. Look at that beauty. It's actually really hard to get this entire car in frame because it is so large. It certainly looks better after a bath though. Now, if you guys were hearing this while we were driving, I think that might be a bushing or a lack thereof in the rear. This does have a 4-link in the rear. Other than that, the Mercury made it. It's pretty good. Well, I took it for one little cruise around the block and promptly sunk it in the yard out there. Starting to hate living in Wisconsin. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a one-legger. Good morning. We're on our way to an undisclosed location. Try to get some outside footage of this thing. Current temperature, I believe, is -6. Yeah, it's pretty cold, but the Mercury doesn't care. Check it out. 60 miles an hour, cruising down the road. Pretty good. This thing is actually pretty incredible. Power steering's perfect. Brakes are pretty good. I like it. To the gas station here, and this thing, other than the neutral safety switch, this thing fires right up and runs awesome. The heat even works. Blower motor's working. All right, I'm gonna be real honest with you. It is super, super cold out here, but this car is freaking sweet. Oh man. Uh-oh. We're almost flat on that tire. Head back to the gas station. Okay, so that idea may have backfired. It's extremely cold, and look at the snow. It's literally blowing across the road. Yeah. Not the best time to be driving a giant classic around. There you go. Will this Mercury Monterey that has been off the road at least 40 years, sitting for sure for the last 20, run and drive? Yes, it will. It is doing all the things. This car is actually really sweet to drive. I mean, with the 3.0 gear in the back, it'll do like 70 down the freeway. It's pretty freaking awesome. So that's it. It's like -6. I'm super cold. All of my members, I really appreciate you guys supporting me. If you're interested in becoming a member, you'll get early access to videos, behind the scenes content, and first dibs on cars like this. To everybody else, thank you all so much. Please remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.